more joy, more laughter, more great weather, all those things in life that make us feel alive. Because that's what Spirit is doing through you and through me, showing up in the physical, recognizing itself through our love, our joy, and our laughter. So know you're in a great place this morning, and Spirit is going to recognize and reward you abundantly. Well, we have a lot of announcements this morning, so let me get going on those. The first one is we have 2 yoga classes. One is on Friday at 10 a.m., and Gita is shifting the focus of that a little bit more to for healing. So if you're some way healing physically or spiritually, and you want a gentle movement, this is the class for you. It's on Friday at 10 o'clock. We also have the Judy James Matching Grant Campaign going. Judy James's kids have offered us $10,000 if we can match that amount. We have till November 15th to do it, and we're a little ways from doing that. So if you can help us out with that campaign, that would be really wonderful. We also are going to have a holiday party on December 7th. December 7th. And we're going to be giving away gift cards. Brenda Census, who's helping us with that, she's got a list of outside of businesses that she would like you to mark off which of those businesses you would like to get a gift card from. So if you can go out and mark off the top businesses that you would like to have a gift card from, that will help us out. And it's going to be a raffle, so that we're not actually giving a gift card to everybody. It's going to be a raffle, but check the ones you want outside. And a reminder, we also are having the Christmas party on December 7th. That's open to everybody. Eddie Watkins Jr. will be here to entertain us, and it'll be a wonderful time. On Thanksgiving Day, we're going to have a Thanksgiving potluck here. Anyone who would like to help us out with that, please see Joy Thornton. Joy, where are you at? There she is in the back. See her and help organize that, and that'll be a wonderful thing. Finally, today at 11:30, we have a workshop with Elaine Malloy. Elaine, where are you? There's Elaine in the back. It'll be a great informative workshop helping you get clearer about your spiritual goals and gifts. So that'll be 11:30 today, and that's for a love offering. Well, those are all my announcements. David, I know you got some great music for us.
There's one power invisible, and you see it everywhere and every day. One power indescribable, and you speak of it with every word you say. Mysterious until you know the truth. It's as simple as the love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, angels' wings, or heaven's door. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? It's the power of the love in you and me. We speak so many languages, different clothing, different colors, different names. But different is only dangerous when we forget that in our hearts they're all the same. Remember when we close our eyes to see that the differences were never meant to be. Call it God, Call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord. Call it Buddha, Abalula, heaven's wings or heaven's door. It's Mohammed, it's your mind, it's your soul and it's your sign. It's the universe, it's music, Father Earth or Mother Time. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? Whatever name you give it, it's the very air we breathe, it's one power. Oh, in you and me. It's the innocence of creation, it's the everlasting peace, it's the freedom of forgiveness, it's the sweetness of release, it's the joy of inspiration, it's the sunshine on your face, it's the birthright of all nations, it's the boundlessness of space, it's the beauty of a baby, the serenity of sleep, the anger we abandon, for it's love that is most deep, it's one power. What we are is one power. It's the power of the love that lives forever in you and me. It's the power of the love in you and me.
Ah. Thank you, David. It's the power of the love within you and me. Daniel Naaman, thank you, David. All right, to get our service going, we're going to have a reading and a treatment from Jim Saul. Come on up, Jim.
Good morning. Yesterday, there was a celebration of life service at the St. Margaret's Episcopal Church in Fleming Island for our beloved practitioner and longtime church member, Richard Austin. Like me, Richard first became a member of this church shortly after it began having services in 1985. So I have known him a very long time, and he and I served this church for most of that time. We took practitioner classes together, which normally takes about 3.5 years. It includes 3.5 years of study and a written test and more. Richard became a practitioner before me. I had some self-esteem issues that I had to deal with, so the 3.5 years probably was more like 15. So I considered Richard kind of a mentor because he got practitioner before me. And sometimes when I needed prayer work, I would go to him. And it was always his quiet, beautiful contentment that made me know that his prayer work was really powerful. And so often we would stand up here and let people come and we'd do prayer work for them. And during those times, we would often talk. He knew that I read a lot of spiritual books, and so so often on Sunday morning after service, when we would be standing up here, what he would do is he would say, "What wisdom did you find this week?" And so I would try to share, what I had read that week. And in one particular Sunday, I told him about something that I had found called nature bathing. And he listened to it and he said, "Wow, that sounds really interesting." And that kind of was it until next week when he came back and he said, "I tried it, it was awesome." And he really encouraged me so much of the time. He encouraged me. He wanted me to teach a class in nature bathing. And sometimes I'm not so good at a teacher verbally. I think I'm a better writer than I am a verbal person. And so a couple weeks after he said it really, really helped him, he said he went for a walk on the St. Johns River and he felt the presence so deeply that he teared up. Okay. So a couple weeks after this, I came up and I showed him a little book that I had made called Nature Bathing. It's only 2 little pages long. And he read it and he said, "I think that's as good as a class, and you can read it in 5 minutes. The rest of it's up to you, to go and do it." Richard was a really sweet man, intelligent, compassionate, and I really believe content. And content is a really important value, spiritual value, because what that means is that everything's okay. You can deal with everything. Because he would so often encourage me to teach and to express spiritual truths, I really believe that he would encourage me to say for him that he's in a really good place and not to grieve. It's the people left behind that can grieve, but he's in a really good place. And I really think he would encourage me to say also that when it's your turn, don't be afraid. When it's your turn, don't be afraid. Just let it happen, it'll be fine. I once had a person on the verge of death say they saw the other side, and one of the things she said was, there'll be many on the other side who know you and love you and will be there for you. And so when it's your turn, don't be afraid. He's done with his cancer. He's done with his struggle. He's done with the mysteries that we have here. And I really think that at some point, I'll see him again. So that's what I have to say about Richard. So let's take kind of that feeling of gratitude. I mean, he was a really big, for 38 years, he was a member here and really tried to help this center. So let's take that idea of gratitude and go into our morning prayer. What I know is that each and every person here today is not just a human. Each and every one of us is eternal. And once we embrace that eternality, then fear falls away. Once we realize that we are not destined for pain and suffering, that we are here to learn and to share our wisdom, then that's what our task is. He so often wanted me to share our wisdom, and that's an important aspect, because if I get a great insight, a revelation, and I don't share it, then it dies with me. And I don't want that to happen. And so he encouraged me to share my wisdom and to know the truth and to be content with all that is here, including all that appears to be tragic. It's just part of life. And to look for and embrace every beautiful thing you can find. So I give thanks for this time. I give thanks for Richard Austin and his dedication to the center. I give thanks for the center for being here for both of us. And I can release this prayer to be so simply and easily by saying, and so it is. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
I come to the garden alone, while the dew is still on the roses, and the voice I hear falling on my ear, the Spirit now discloses. And it walks with me, and it talks with me, and it tells me I am its own. And the joy we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known. It speaks, and the sound of its voice is so sweet the birds hush their singing, and the melody that it gave to me within my heart is ringing. And it walks with me, and it talks with me, and it tells me I am its own. And the joy we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known. I'd stay in the garden with it, though the night around me be falling, but it bids me go through the voice of woe. Its voice to me is calling, and it walks with me, and it talks with me, and it tells me I am its own. And the joy we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known.
Thank you, David. Thank you, David. That was lovely. So my talk this morning actually is walking in the light. Our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, he said the fundamental teaching of Christ is to affirm our good even in the midst of hardship. And this approach is revolutionary. It invites us to change our focus and to recognize Spirit's ever-present light, even in the midst of darkness, to allow the illumination from our hearts and souls to shine out to the world. Christ, he rarely spoke about what was wrong in his life. Instead, he used his words to affirm life, health, and joy, speaking them into existence. When Christ healed, he didn't dwell on the sickness, poverty, or pain. Instead, he spoke directly to the truth he saw in each person. To the lame, he said, "Rise up and take your bed and walk." Rise up. Get over your problems and move on to a new possibility. To the blind, he gave sight. To the storm, he said, "Peace, be still." He demonstrated that even in the midst of chaos and painful conditions, that we have the power to affirm the opposite: peace, healing, and abundance. This is the heart of spiritual mind treatment, or affirmative prayer. And this is the basis of our teaching. It aligns us with our good by affirming it. Ernest Holmes says affirmations are not spoken to make things happen, but to align what is already true in the divine mind with our lives. When we pray, we don't beg or plead. We affirm with the conviction we need to see all the blessings that are already in our lives. Dr. Holmes says, spirit is limitless, and we are spiritual beings, so that all that we desire already exists within us. We just need to open our minds to it. To live from this mindset is to practice shifting from worry to faith, from fear to acceptance, from doubt to joy. It causes us to close the door of our consciousness to negativity and open it to the fullness of spirit, just as Jesus advised. When you pray, he said, go to your room, close the door, and pray to your Creator who is unseen. The room is our inner sanctuary where we can close out all doubt and distractions and center on the divine presence. There's a wonderful author. His name was Viktor Frankl. He wrote Man's Search for Meaning. He was Sigmund Freud's closest chosen disciple. Freud was able to get out of Austria before the Nazis marched in. Frankl was not. And so he suffered all the horrors of the concentration camps. And he said that everything can be taken from you except one thing, and that is your ability to choose what to think about. He once was on a death march. As the Allies were moving closer to the camps, the Nazis kept moving the prisoners further into Germany. And he was on this death march in frozen weather, and he said he felt the spirit of his wife come to him and encourage him to keep moving on. When we shift our perspective to a life-affirming way, we give life a chance to work for us. And every day we can affirm, my thoughts are radiant with the light of spirit. There is no darkness in my mind, and I am directed by divine wisdom, guided into right action, happiness, and success. Spirit's desire is to see you succeed. Why would it ever have a need to see you fail and suffer? Spirit is there to lift us up, to raise us up, to encourage us. It's not about denying life struggles. Rather, it's about choosing to not to feed energy into them. We don't drag our burdens and woes to hurl them at the infinite, Dr. Holmes says. Instead, we gently place them on the altar of faith. And the light within us is spirit itself. And in that light, we can always find peace and clarity and power. We are not victims. We haven't come here to suffer through life. We are here to see the radiance of God's love shine forth. And we are here to create a new heaven and a new earth. It's what's been promised to us, and we are capable. Spirit has faith in each and every one of us. It called us by name from stardust so that we could be here at this exact moment. And you want to know how powerful you are? Spirit created you to be here in this time of challenges, knowing that you have the power to calm the storm, to rise above all the distress. Spirit is counting on you to bring love. Now, in New Thought, we're invited to see our lives as deeply connected to Spirit, seeing every difficulty as an invitation to express more love. Joel Goldsmith, he wrote, "If we are aware of God as the very life and soul and being of all, then you would know there is no one to forgive and nothing to be forgiven." In the face of every challenge, this is what we can bring into our awareness. That every challenge is an invitation to see that love is present, to affirm that God's light is within, and that we have the power to raise up and provide miracles and blessings even when we don't really know that we're that powerful, when we don't even really understand exactly the blessing we're bringing. I saw a video this week, and what they do is they take young musicians, and they will show them older talent. Karen Carpenter, for instance, or Tony Bennett. And this video, they were showing them Judy Garland singing Battle Hymn of the Republic. And of course, it always blows the young guys away. They didn't know that that people back then could really sing that well. Now, they didn't really give them the full story, and you can look it up on YouTube, about her singing the Battle Hymn of the Republic, because it happened to occur on her TV series. She had a TV series that lasted on CBS, and the executives at CBS never knew exactly what to do with her. They didn't know if it should be just a concert or a variety show. They didn't understand her. Now, she happened to sing this song the week after President Kennedy was assassinated. She had gone to the executives and she had told them, she was very close to President Kennedy, and she had told them, she said, "Look, we can't just do a regular show at this time. We need to do something special." And her suggestion was to sing spiritual and patriotic songs. But they came back to her and said, "No, we don't want that. We want to do the regular comedy bits and the other things." So instead, she tricked them. And at the very end of the show, she put in Battle Hymn of the Republic. And she belts it out. Now, it infuriated the executives. It was the end of the program. They killed her contract, and her career was pretty much downhill from that point on. But her singing that song to the nation at that time of turbulence was a beacon call that we can do better, that even in that place of so much disruption and so much discord and so much loss of faith, that here this tiny little woman with a big voice was able to change the direction and the outlook of a nation. That's how powerful she was. She was singing, but Spirit was speaking through her. And we all have that ability. And we're in a time of discord. We're in a time of trouble. We're in a time where all of us need to step up and to speak out that there's a better way. We don't have to live in all this turbulence. We don't have to have all this anger bubbling up around us. There's a better way. And when we can approach every situation in life, even with the difficult ones, and we can do that by knowing the affirmation that we are the light of the Spirit of life, and it shines from our hearts and soul. It is a beam of eternal residence, and in this light, there is no darkness. In this light, we can see God itself. And as we hold on to these words, as we believe these words, we can feel that inner light growing within us, illuminating our path, dissolving our fears, and guiding us towards a greater good. As we grow in our spiritual maturity, we realize that this journey is about looking beyond appearances to a deeper reality. This is what Mary Magdalene, the truth that she brought in the Gnostic Gospels. She spoke of ascending from illusion to divine truth. She said, attach your soul to the vision of your true nature, and you will find the light of God within. Her words remind us that the light is not something we seek, but something we already are. Within you is the light of spirit. And in the Gospels, Christ also said that you have this light, and if you will let it out, it will illuminate the world. But it takes courage. It takes courage for us to step up and say, yes, I have the light of God's love within my heart and soul, but if we keep it within, it will consume us. Now's the time. Now's the time to step up and be the people Spirit has called us to be. Now's the time for us to shine forth. Like the song says, this little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. When we stop identifying with our limitations and we align ourselves with the fullness of our being, that this awareness is the path to our illumination. Each day we can wake up and affirm our alignment with divine light. And when the world seems chaotic, this is the most important time to do it. Like Christ said, peace, be still. That's what he said to the storm. When you turn on the news, say, peace, be still. When you open up the newspaper, say, peace, be still. I have a better idea. When we feel uncertain, we can declare, I'm guided by the spirit of wisdom. When we're surrounded by darkness, we can affirm, there is no darkness in my mind or soul. And by embodying these truths, we allow Spirit to transform us from within, and we become the light for others. You will be amazed at how many people are looking to you. I know it seems, it's easy to discount. I've told this story many times of how most of my family all talk about the crazy cult that I belong to. But let one of them get in trouble, and who do they call? Yeah. People are looking for you, and it's up to you to step up, and particularly now, to be that source of encouragement, to be that source of courage, and to be that source of light. And when we embrace this journey, we find that life rises up to meet us. The light within us is not a fragile spark, but an eternal flame. And as we fan this flame through our affirmations and our prayers, it will continue to shine, dissolving any darkness, bringing peace to our minds, our hearts, and our souls, and love to our lives. I am one with the eternal light of Spirit. This light guides me, empowers me, surrounds me in peace. In this light, I only see good. Not only do we choose to see the light of good shining forth, but we also get to be the light of good shining forth. This week, we reached out to the Betty Griffith House. Betty Griffith's house is where people flee from violent families. And the one thing that we've always done for them is we provide the kids Christmas gifts there. Because unfortunately, at Christmas time, these shelters overfill. Because they're so in a toxic family, the holidays come, and that adds to the burden of the family. And many people have to flee violent situations on the spur of the moment. And so often, these kids are yanked out of their familiar surrounding without their favorite toys, without their favorite playthings, and they're thrown into a new environment that they've never been to, and they don't have the things around them to bring them comfort. You can only imagine what it is for both the parents and the child to have Christmas coming up and not to be able to have the magic of Christmas, not to be able to get a gift. So this year, we're adopting over 20 families that we're going to provide Christmas for. Yeah. And the lady at Betty Griffiths asked us, she said, is this going to be too many? And the volunteer that's coordinating this says, don't worry about it. We'll make it happen. And we are going to make it happen. And you never know how much that one little bit of good can do for a child, can do for a parent. You never know what one light, one bit of light of love and compassion can shine forth and make a difference in the world. Now, I told you at the beginning of this year that this was going to be a challenging year for us all. And of course, we've got this little thing coming up on Tuesday of a national election. And nobody knows how this is going to turn out. But I pray every day, several times a day, that we have a peaceful election, that we have a peaceful transfer of power. Now, I know some of my better informed friends, they think that's a rather naive concept. But I cling to the hope that as a people, we're going to have that bright, shining city on a hill that we have been promised. That as a people, we're going to get there. And we are not going to allow this confusion, this turmoil, this anger to hold us back. You see, the world may have given up on compassion, but I have not. The world may have given up on kindness, but I have not. It may have given up on America, and it may have given up on God itself. But I'm going to keep on walking. I'm going to keep on talking till there's a better day for all of us to share in, to live and to have our being in. And on that bright, glorious morning, we are all going to manifest the glory of God from our own hearts and souls. And we ourselves will be that glory that Spirit is calling forth in us. We can do it. God is counting on us, and now is the time. This is the truth in your life this morning. It's the truth in mine, and so it is. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
Thank you, David. So now we come to the time when we support our center, and we support this center because this is an amazing place and it's doing great good in the world. You can support us in a couple of ways. Through your prayer work, by seeing us growing and thriving and seeing us supported. You can support us in our volunteer. We always have volunteer opportunities. And so finally, you can support us financially. However you choose to support us, if you will take your intention and place it over your heart and read with me this affirmation of prosperity. I live in a universe of abundance. As I freely and joyfully give, I join in the divine flow, and all I share with life returns to me multiplied abundantly. Well, thank you in advance for your generous contributions, and know that whatever you give is going to return to you multiplied abundantly. So the ushers will step down. David, I know you got something great for us.
Perhaps love is like a resting place, a shelter from the storm. It exists to give you comfort, it is there to keep you warm. And in those times of trouble, when you are most alone, the memory of love will bring you home. Perhaps love is like a window, perhaps an open door. It invites you to come closer. It wants to show you more. And even if you lose yourself and don't know what to do, the memory of love will see you through. Love is to some is like a cloud, to some as strong as steel. For some a way of living, for some a way to feel. And some say love is holding on, and some say letting go. Some say love is everything, some say they don't know. Perhaps love is like the ocean, full of conflict, full of pain. Like a fire when it's cold outside, thunder when it rains. If I should live forever and if all my dreams come true, my memories of love will be of you.
Thank you, David. Thank you, Betsy. And thank you for your support. Your supporting is allowing us to grow and to thrive, to continue to be that beacon of love and hope and compassion. So we thank you, we bless it, we release it, knowing it does its good and perfect work, returning to us multiplied abundantly. And together we say, and so it is. Well, I'll conclude our service with affirmative prayer. I'm going to do it in the first person. Take it in for yourself. If I say something that works for you, hold tight to that. If I say something that doesn't work for you, just let that part slide by. But just know this truth with me this morning. There is but one God and one mind and one power. That power is perfect love. It's divine intelligence. That power created me from itself plus nothing else. I'm not all of God, but all that I am is God. So here I stand today on the soil of St. Augustine, and I choose to know the truth about myself. I choose to see myself as God sees me, not as weak or wounded, but strong, dynamic, victorious, moving out into the world with courage, moving out into the world with love and compassion. And even though the storms of hate and anger and turmoil may be blowing hard, those things are just but shadows of the truth. And they flee this right knowing like the shadows fled the morning sun. I am not here to live a life of disturbance, to live life in turmoil and confusion. I am here to shine forth the radiance of God's love, of God's compassion. I am here to lift my eyes up to see a better day, a better dawn breaking for me and everyone else. We have labored too long in all this confusion and anger. Now's the day for us to step up and step out and be the people that Spirit is calling us to be the soldiers of good, to be the people of love and compassion and kindness, to rain down God's blessings for ourselves and each other, for our community, our nation, and the world. This morning, I am moving out with strength. I leave this place empowered. I leave this place knowing who I am and whose I am, a child of the Most High, here to open up the storehouse of heaven, to rain down the blessings to everyone. It's what Spirit is calling me to do, and this morning I am stepping up and answering the call. This morning I am choosing to be the light of God made manifest, the glory of God revealed. This is the truth. Every cell of my being radiates this right knowing, and I release this prayer unto the mind of God to do its good and perfect, bold and dynamic work, returning to me multiplied abundantly. And together we say, and so it is. All right, dear ones, I'm going to leave you with one last thought, and that is your life. Your life. It's not a problem to be solved. It's a miracle unfolding. Your job this week is to go name your miracle, proclaim your miracle, and make it your own. God bless us all. Now let us go be the miracle Spirit is calling us to be. Until we see each other again, this is Reverend Ken wishing you many blessings.
God bless America,
Land that I love, stand beside her and guide her
through the light with the light from above, from the mountain to the prairies, to the ocean, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Thank you.